Bonjour and bienvenue les gars. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Roman Anthony and I'm glad that you guys are here with us today. So in my last video, I covered the 10 things I hate about Paris. So in this video, I wanted to cover the 10 things that I absolutely j'adore about Paris. So let's get right on into it. Now, keep in mind, these 10 things are not in a list or order of any form or fashion, but we'll just jump right on in. So, the first thing on my list is disappearing in the city. Now, when I travel, and even the first time I went to Paris, I went with some friends. There were times where I ditched my friends to just go wander around and walk until I got tired of walking. I feel like, hey, I got GPS on my phone. If that fails, I can ask for help from someone, look at a train map, or instinctually, I kind of can retrace my steps. So I love just disappearing in the city of lights. It's amazing for me. Absolutely love it. I suggest that you guys try it. You'll actually discover some incredible places that tourists can't even have access. Like they could go there if they like disappeared, but they don't disappear in the city, so they don't discover these amazing places. So you guys do it. I was so afraid to ride the little motorcycle looking Vespa things. Like they call it scooters, I call it a motor bike or whatever. But I was so afraid for so long. I watched YouTube tutorials on how to even get it off the kickstand. But then Uber created in the Uber app where you could rent like regular scooters, like the regular electrical type of scooters. They created it to where you can just input your driver's license and you can get on one of those little motorbike or Vespas. And I loved it. Granted, the first time I tried riding one of those, I had been drinking. It was after the pandemic, or yeah, it was after the pandemic. And trains were, it was like, trains had cut off or whatever like that. They're always on strike. I was coming from my friend's place. It was a long walk. I was like, I don't feel like walking for like an hour and a half. So like I was walking for about half an hour. And then I was like, yo, it's nighttime. I only had a few drinks. I'm about to jump on this scooter. Hard part is trying to put that helmet on when you got a turban on. But yeah, it looked crazy, but I enjoyed myself. And then I love to like get on any other time I could. But yeah, there you go. Get on the scooters. Another thing that I love about Paris is the galleries. Now, the galleries were basically Paris's first version of a mall before malls really existed. And they were indoor because it would rain a lot or whatever. So sometimes you might find yourself, I don't know if you've seen it in a YouTube video or somewhere, I'll try to put a backdrop of it or put a video clip in the galleries. I love the galleries. To be honest, if I could own a salon or if I decided to own a salon, I would, and it was in Paris, I would do it at one of the galleries. I would take one of those spaces so that way you come in, the little quarters, and they got great acoustics for singing. I really like that. Like I was like in the gallery. I don't know, remember what I was singing, but the acoustics were great. So I love the galleries. They even have like this Louis Vuitton store in the no, it wasn't Louis store. It was a Louboutin store. Yeah, it was the Louboutin store in the gallery, and it had these really dope classic type shoes. Like I mean, because Louboutin has been around before Louboutin was popular. So yeah, like the galleries, you find all the great little finds. You can find the authentic Parisian little hats, like, and then the army type hats. Like the galleries are the it place. Now, I know this one isn't a huge one, but I also love studying in Centre Pompidou. So it's a modern art museum, but they have a library there, and you can go upstairs, and they have a balcony where you can go out and look along the people. But I really like just going inside with my earphones on and just getting into my books, studying. There's a lot of college kids there and young people, but it's free to get into the library portion of the museum. So you just go in and to get out the house and, have fun. Like, check out some books, learn a little bit of French, and that's what I love doing. And action! Oh, come on! J'adore, j'adore, j'adore Versailles. I absolutely loved Versailles. I finally got to go there. I think I'd been to Paris maybe 3 or 4 times before I ever got to go to Versailles. A friend invited me, a client friend, was a client and then became a friend. She invited me with her friends to go to Versailles, and I was glad that they did. So we drove up there, and it was phenomenal. I love Marie Antoinette. Just the whole thing, the whole bit. It was amazing. So definitely check out Versailles if you go to Versailles. Well, one thing on my list that, sorry to go off in a tangent, but one thing on my list that I would like to see that I have not yet are the catacombs. So if you guys seen the catacombs, let me know in the comments, how was that experience? The foodie in me loves to eat, obviously because I'm a foodie, but I love the Boulangerie. I love pastries, I love sweets, I love trying all the different sweets, looking at the different sweets. I remember the first time I went to Paris, I was along, it was a Boulangerie along Champs-Élysées, not too far from the H&M where all the little, there's 2 little mall sections inside that you would walk through, and on one of them there's a Boulangerie at the corner, and I went in to get a sandwich or something, un sandwich jambon avec un moutarde, practicing my French. But yeah, I went in and there were all these bees inside the casing with the sweets, and I was in the middle of the city, and it was so normal, and I was like, where the hell did these bees come from? But that was interesting. I love the Boulangerie. North Africans, Moroccans, Algerians, the Arabs, but no, I love the brown boys. I love all types of religions, ethnicities, race, skin colors, doesn't matter. I don't discriminate, but I was like, Jesus, sometimes I would go over to the little minority neighborhoods just to be checking them out. I was like, let me go and walk over here by Moulin Rouge and stuff. And because they be over there down the strip, you walk down to Moulin Rouge, I'm like, standing there looking like a poppy. I don't know what they call him, but okay.
What you say?
The nightlife. Paris nightlife. Now, although I've not done this, the clubs do not close until 7 a.m. So even though I don't go out much, when I do go out, I want to have fun because I go out maybe every 2 to 3 months. So I'm, obviously I'm trying to turn up, and I do like the nightlife in Paris. The heterosexual nightlife is great too. I went to some straight places and I had a blast. I mean, there was just always something to do, and I really enjoyed that. Their clubs are pretty cool. Some are smaller than others, some are bigger than others. But depending on where you go, you're guaranteed to have a good time in Paris. So I really enjoy the nightlife there as well. Wish I experienced it more because since I only go out every couple of months, or when friends came to town and then pandemic hit or the metro was on strikes, I was like, I'm not gonna go out. But I did enjoy the nightlife. The Seine River. Also, my favorite thing to do. I would just walk to the Seine in any type of mood I was in, and it was life for me. So I love the Seine. I suggest that you guys, obviously you'll check out the Seine. They do the boat tours and stuff like that. However, I just really enjoyed it. Literally, I just would walk along the Seine at 2, 3 in the morning. I would go at night, or I remember one day, was walking along the Seine. It was at nighttime. Me and some friends from the States, and then we ran into people from the States, and we were like rapping along the Seine and singing and playing music and dancing and having a good time until the sun came up, until the cafes open to where we can get another drink. It was like all day, all night to the next day, afternoon type thing. It was incredible. I really enjoyed it. I love the Seine. I wish I could live along the Seine. Literally, I'm looking at my laptop right now, and the backdrop is a picture that I took of the Seine after it had rained. Finally, I just love the Parisian way of life. In America, I think we work very hard. Not to say that they don't work hard, but I think as hard as they work, they also enjoy life just as hard. Here, we don't really even have those opportunities to kind of enjoy life. So I really, really enjoy their way of life. I don't always understand it, don't always agree with it, but I enjoy it. I like it. I like the fact that I had the ability to try to adapt into that culture, because where I'm from, or if you're from the States as well, you know we work extremely hard. We don't really do vacations, definitely don't get paid vacations, barely. Some companies, yes. But not as a hairstylist. So yeah, I really enjoyed their way of life and learning about their way of life. Yeah, and that's all I can say about the 10 things that I love about Paris. You know what? Here's the plug. When I was in the galleries, I found a book, and it was called How to Be Parisian in 1 Hour. I'll have to probably put a link of that in here somewhere, but it's not sponsored or anything, but I picked it up in the gallery. And I loved it. It was hilarious. The guy had lived in the States for a while. He's from a different part of France, moved to Paris. And you know, he's French, but he was basically talking about the differences from where he's from in France and the Parisian way of life. I really enjoyed it. However, if I was in Paris right now, this might pass. This might be too much because it's too bright, but it's almost like a New York same aesthetic when it comes to color schemes and clothes. In closing, thank you for tuning into my video, guys. I really enjoy that you guys were watching. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up or a like. Please share, subscribe. If you have any comments or anything that you want to know about Paris in general, just let me know. As you saw with these 10 things that I mentioned, it wasn't the typical Eiffel Tower, Champs-Elysees, which I also love. And I was very close to the Champs-Elysees where I lived. However, I just wanted to talk about the things that you don't necessarily see people talk about and why they're so spectacular as well. So that way, when you next go to Paris, you can explore something different or look at something in a different perspective. Thank you. Bye.